Alrighty. Are you ready to talk to us all about stocks and GameStop and eating the rich?
Can't wait.
Shut up. Alright, where do we start? From the beginning of time.
We can't just go live and then immediately start talking about
We have
it.
to talk about other stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Bluey, get him on the back in your lap so he's good.
Maybe.
B, come here. Not you, Maudie. There's not enough room for both puppies. He jumped. Bluey, you can do it. Okay, well. Are you going to tell me about your day or something?
It was pretty good.
Tell me what you did without a kid running around.
Yeah, I got some work stuff done. I had to do I had to present something today. Not really present it, but I had to show one of the directors how to do something, and it didn't go very well, so I have to do it again tomorrow.
Because of you or because of the director?
Because of me, because I didn't test it properly.
Oh.
It's not really that big a deal. I was just showing him how to do something that I have implemented, and it didn't work, so I have to do it again tomorrow.
Did you wear your best sweatpants?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't see me. It was just a phone call.
Oh, you didn't have to get on Zoom?
No.
Okay, then.
I don't ever turn my camera on when I'm on Zoom.
Do they?
Some people do, yeah.
I feel like
Sometimes I'm the only one without it on.
Yeah.
But also if Adeline's here, then it's just going to be a distraction.
It's just kind of awkward to have it like other people on and you're not sometimes. I don't know, but I hate being on it too.
I can't. If Adeline's here, I can't have it on.
Hi. Okay, that's fair.
Because she's a huge distraction. And plus, if she sees people on, then she's...
Are you read me? I did read you. Hi. I don't know what that means. Okay, well, I think you should give us some background on... Okay, sorry, before we get really into it. Natty messaged me and thought that Maddox was our kid.
Huh?
Natty messaged me and said Josh thought Maddox was our kid.
Oh, close.
She's like, how many kids do you think they have?
Yeah, just the
We
one.
are about... We're about to go over all the craziness that's happening, even though right now AOC is streaming it, but in case, you wanted a shortened up, chopped up version of it.
Well, yeah, but you can't really ask AOC questions.
You can't ask AOC questions, but you can ask Clay questions.
Yeah, and I'm just as good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably know more about Reddit than AOC.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning of your involvement in this. How did you decide to start doing this? And what you're doing?
So let's see. So
Don't mumble.
I decided to start trading stocks because we had $1,000 sitting around. That was magical. It came from
very
nowhere.
Privileged.
Yeah, we just found out that I had $1,000 laying around.
Yeah. What?
Do you know
The Greg. The F Greg? Oh, I don't know what this means. Natty, you might have to translate. The Grefig. The Grefig. I don't know what that means. It's okay. Keep going. We'll get clarity.
So I go on Reddit and I joined a bunch of not Wall Street Bets subreddits.
Mm-hmm.
And I went a few days doing that, and they always referenced Wall Street Bets and made jokes about them. And so I was like, hey, let's go look at that. And I looked at it, and they were super funny. So I didn't go in there expecting to get financial advice.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't. It's not a good place for financial advice.
You can't tell what's trolling and what's not trolling.
So I went in there, but out of the jokes and the trolling, there are some actual good information. You just have to do the reading yourself and kind of look into it. Mm-hmm. So after I've been there for a few days, they were talking about GameStop. And when I joined, because on stocks you can do watch lists to look at stocks you're interested in. And I had GameStop on a watch list. And when I joined, I think it was at like 5 or something. It was cheap. or maybe it was a little bit higher than that. And then it quickly went up to 18. And everyone, of course, is making jokes, making memes about it, whatever. And so I was like, man, I'm really thinking. I was talking about selling everything and going to put everything in Bitcoin and Ethereum.
He bought a purse.
I did. You're not supposed to tell people that.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't have a purse.
So then, let's see what happened. So that started to become kind of like a meme stock, and then it shot up into the 30s from 18 to 30 in like one day. I was
the
like,
GameStop
shit.
one.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm thinking about selling everything anyway, so we might as well. Like, I would rather just go into this because again, the money, it doesn't really matter to me. So
you gotta explain why the GameStop stock was being funky. That's an important part of the story.
Right. Well, we're going over my story first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Fair
so
enough.
then I bought in pretty cheap. Bought as many shares as I could, and then here we are.
Okay, that's sort of accurate.
Yeah.
It wasn't a smooth sailing. Well, it was not crazy.
It was. I mean, it was fine.
Okay.
And we finished every day since I've bought. We have finished higher than the day before.
The
days go crazy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we open higher the next day than we close the day, or we open the day before.
But the day that, oh, you know what? This is kind of like our pre-stream, like our video before we cash out or whatever. And we're gonna have another video afterwards and see what the results of the fruits of our labor.
Yeah, we're all wearing gold jewelry and diamonds and
yes,
stuff.
we'll be
That'll be
decked
the
out.
difference. It'll be
We'll
it'll look exactly like this, but we'll just have a bunch of jewelry on.
Yeah, because I don't think our wardrobes will change. You know what? Out of all the things I thought I'd buy with money, clothes is actually like the last. It didn't even cross my mind to get new clothes.
They sure as shit's not mine.
Okay, wait, but there's some things I feel like we skipped over. The day that he told me he wanted to buy GameStop stock, I was like, my jaw dropped and I was not pleased. I was like, oh no, I married an idiot. And then he kind of explained the background, which I think is what you
I do strive in my life to not be an idiot.
Yeah, he does.
And I don't think I am an idiot very often. So for that to be your first thing is like, Clay is wrong in this.
I think like in my defense, you shouldn't have came at me and been like, oh, I'm going to invest in GameStop. You should have told me the backstory behind the why part. So you should have been like, something crazy has happened with GameStop instead of like, I'm going to invest in GameStop.
Yeah, or you should just trust me.
Yeah. Strive in our lives not to be idiots. I don't know. I feel like he does a really great job of it. So I do regret not trusting him, but I just feel like he approached me not in the best way to say, hey, I'm about to drop $1,000 on something.
But at the time, it was a joke even to me.
Like, you're going to drop $1,000 on a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. See, he's not helping his case? Okay, so explain what was going on.
I knew what was happening. Like, no, I guess I wouldn't drop it on a joke. I understood what was happening.
Start with the Reddit user and what happened and why GameStop was worthy.
So in December of 2019, I think.
Is that far down?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing this for a year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stock was 40 cents for GameStop. They have not been doing very well. This guy noticed that the short percentage for GameStop was very high. He basically, so a short is the opposite of what you think the stock market does. So most people think a stock market of, hey, I'm going to buy a stock cheaply, hope the company does well or the stock does well, and the stock goes up, and then I will sell later when it's worth more money. So you buy low, sell high. Shorting is the opposite. You borrow a stock from somebody, and then you sell it high, hoping that you drive the price down so that then you can buy it back cheaper and then give it back to the person you borrowed it from. So if you take a $5 stock, you sell it for $5, it does poorly, goes down to $3, you buy it back, then you make a $2 profit. And that's what shorting is.
But why is it considered unethical in some
It's
cases?
not. It's not unethical. I think it's there because it's just the opposite side of the coin. So you're just betting that a stock's going to do bad rather than well. But the problem is what these hedge funds do is they intentionally drive companies into the ground.
Okay, so they're betting against them and it hurts them.
Yeah, well, they're betting against them, but they're putting a lot of money into it to where it will crash their stock.
Okay.
So that's what's
that's
messed
the
up.
unethical part.
Yeah. And it's illegal for them to like short a stock, and it has to be like public information. So you can't go and put millions of dollars into shorting a stock with the intent of driving it down and not do something. So again, it's just, but that's how Wall Street is. Everything in Wall Street is built for Wall Street people to succeed and for them to do well. Shorting is no different. It's just, I guess, kind of more effed up. So shorting is, the way it's a risk is if the stock goes up, then you eventually, so when you borrow, and you can borrow stock in different ways. Sometimes you can borrow it for free, kind of depending on who you're borrowing it from. But a lot of times you'll pay interest on it. So the longer you have this borrowed stock, the more money it costs you. So if the price is going up, in order to give the stock back, you have to buy the stock at whatever price it is. So let's say you borrowed a $5 stock and sold it for $5. And then it goes up to $7. Well, if you were to buy it back, you would lose $2 plus whatever interest you had been paying this whole time. And obviously, people don't want to do that.
Nope.
So you can wait, but again, eventually you have to send the borrowed stock back. It either expires or you're losing so much money on interest, it doesn't make sense to keep it.
Right.
So that's where we're at now, is these guys, these hedge fund guys, have just been recklessly destroying the market for decades. And they were recklessly destroying GameStop. They had borrowed so many stocks to short, they actually borrowed more than stocks that exist for the company. So they borrowed 140% of the existing stocks. So what that means is, for what this guy saw was, hey, if I buy these stocks, they literally do not have a choice but to buy them from me. They have to, because they've shorted so many.
Thanks, Adam. What is a stock? Oh gosh.
So a stock is
Ask him all the questions.
a stock is like a mini investment. A stock's like a mini investment in a company. So if a company, all right, so you have privately held companies and you have publicly held companies. A private company is somebody that has an owner, a CEO. So I don't know, what's a famous private company that has a famous CEO? I'm trying to think.
Know.
Anybody? Natty Colorico?
Are you talking about like Elon Musk style
No,
stuff?
well, Tesla is publicly traded, so that wouldn't be a good
that's
example.
fair. I don't think we need examples. It's okay.
Anyway, that's by, so if somebody starts a business, then they own that business, and
You keep talking. I'm doing chat.
so once if they're private, they have to make their own money and fund it themselves. A company can go public, and they can issue stock, and that stock can go to normal people. It can go to people, like select people. It can go to the people within the company. But that stock has a price to it. And when you sell that company receives that money. So like if a company wants to raise $1 million, and let's say their stock cost $1, then they would issue 1 million stocks, sell them for $1, and they would get $1 million.
Yeah. But the point
now,
of
I'm not gonna-
investing is you put money into a company. When that company grows, your dollar grows, right?
Correct. Yeah. So you could.
It is funny.
So yeah, that's the whole goal, right? Is you can, so any stock that is available to the public. So you and I, we are the public. You can.
Some of them are teenagers.
You can go. Well, they're part of the public.
They can't stock.
They could not stock. I'm sure you had to be 18. I don't But you can always get your parents to open up an account for you.
We're still going to do even shortened version of this, I think. And hello, Adam. Hello, Churiel. Thanks for joining. They can stock before 18. Yeah, you can STALK before, but not STOCK.
Yeah, stock whoever and whenever you want.
No, don't do that. That's poor life advice. Okay, so you said that they had to pay back their stuff, the 140 whatever.
140% of stock. Yeah.
Why did they do that, or how did that happen? I guess
because they're greedy idiots.
So they're greedy
because they've been doing this the whole time, and no one's made them pay for this irresponsible stuff.
If you need to be caught up real quick, the greedy billionaire people, the 1%ers, they got greedy with this. They knew GameStop was going to fail, so they rushed it to fail, and they say it again with the 140.
They shorted more stocks than are in existence.
Right, because they're greedy. Okay,
so that's the thing with short stock is eventually they have to buy the stock. Yes. So if you drive the price up to whatever, they are forced to buy that stock at whatever the hell you drive it up to. And the challenge there is you have to keep it at that price. You as being like me and the other investors in GameStop.
It might be late to invest in GameStop. We bought stock when it was $38 a share. Now it's close. It's been up and down around 300, sitting pretty. It's supposed to shoot up tomorrow, but the issue, that's what we're about to get into, is the issue with today and why everyone on the internet's freaking out, and that's kind of the confusion. So everyone wants to get in on this because it's, the regular old folk taking back, or I don't even know if taking back's the right word.
Just beating Wall Street.
Eating the rich, essentially. Yeah. So that's what we're about to get into, Colorico. So, yeah. Today, obviously, a lot of people wanted to get in on this because they're seeing this stuff on Reddit, on Twitter, on all the things. It
became viral today.
It became viral, yeah. Just today. When he's been on this thing for over a week, and we've just been kind of watching it and, seeing what's going on and get super excited. But now the whole world's excited, so it's even more exciting but also stressful. So everyone wants to buy today, and Robinhood, which is one of the most popular apps.
Robinhood is the easiest to get into, and they've advertised a lot to younger investors.
Right, like 20s, 30s.
Yeah, and they allow for you to buy partial stocks, which doesn't happen.
They also have a direct transfer. Like today I wanted to buy stock, and with a new app, let's say that. So, and with that app that I was using, I had to transfer funds from my bank to the app. Well, Robinhood's supposed to act like immediately get those funds from your bank, whereas most apps take 1 to 3 days. So that was kind of the benefit of Robinhood, is all the people hearing about this going viral can jump in on it as soon as possible. Whereas with the other apps, even if they're hearing about it now, by the time that money gets there, it might be too late for them to buy because they couldn't buy on a dip. So
yeah, and of the GameStop stocks being traded, it was some ridiculous percentage that was on Robinhood. Right. It was over 50%. It was a lot.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. Over 50% of people that have Robinhood have a GameStop stock.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing. Okay, so what did they do today?
So there's a lot of, basically what they want to do is they want to drive the price down. Mm-hmm. So because they want to get the price of the stock as close to whatever they borrowed it at. So they can take as little of a loss.
Right. So
I don't know what they borrowed it at. So I don't know what their goal is. But yeah, they're trying to lose as little money as possible.
Right. So they want the price to go down. We all want it, that are already invested, want it to go up. And they are essentially trying to scare people into selling, like people like us, to sell our stocks.
Right.
And so it would be like a ripple effect. The good thing is, before we get into what happened, Reddit has been extremely prepared for this, the subreddit Wall Street Bets, and they were kind of like, this is kind of what's going to happen. Not total prediction, but they're going to do whatever they can to scare people into selling.
They didn't do a good job of describing how crazy it would be. I don't think they knew.
Yeah, because this is kind of unprecedented.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now to talk about what happened but not just Robinhood, but also ours. Yeah. We used Ameritrade.
Robinhood was the worst. Right? Yeah, TD Ameritrade did it. I don't know what their influence was. You guys also have to remember, websites can only handle a certain amount of traffic. Right. They can only handle a certain amount of transactions. And this is, I mean, just unbelievable. Not even this. AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry.
Break the internet.
Bye Bye Baby. I'm not
Naked.
Bye Bye Baby. Bed Bath & Beyond. Naked.
you said?
I said
Yeah.
AMC. And GameStop. Those
Doge.
are all, well, that's Bitcoin. Or that's cryptocurrency. They're all trading. And the problem is, I mean, again, Fidelity crashed today. TD Ameritrade crashed today. Robinhood didn't because they stopped stock. So some of them are doing that. Also, these guys are trying. They don't want to be the reason the stock market crashes or anything. So these guys do have to kind of trade responsibly. I think that Webull and TD Ameritrade saw how many trades were going on, and they said, "Hey, let's pump the brakes real quick. Like, let's see what's going on, and let's find out if something's wrong with it." Because they don't know. They're not on Reddit. They don't know why GameStop is all of a sudden blowing up for no reason.
Right.
In their minds, no reason. Robinhood, however, is not the same. Robinhood's different. Robinhood does know exactly what's going on because they are owned by the same company that owns the people that are shorting the stock. So what happened today is a very common way to drive down the stock that Wall Street will do is they'll do what's called a short ladder attack, which is basically where two different hedge funds they'll buy and sell stock between each other. So they'll sell a bunch, one guy will buy it at a cheaper price, then they'll sell it and they'll buy it, and they'll go back and forth, and the stock will go down because they're incrementally buying and selling at lower and lower and lower prices.
Right.
So what Citadel did is they said, okay, we're going to, not Citadel, Melvin Capital, Citadel. So these are the players, okay? Robinhood is owned by Citadel Capital, and Citadel Capital owns a hedge fund called Melvin Capital. I might be getting these names wrong, but Melvin, Citadel, Robinhood. So what they did is they said, okay, we're going to buy more shorts. So we are going to borrow more stock, and we are going to say the price is going to go down. Then we're going to do a short ladder attack, which is going to drive the price down because the average Joe, we don't have the volume to combat that. So, and we know that's going to happen. That's just part of it. The problem was that when they got more shorts and they were about to do their short ladder attack, Robinhood stopped allowing buys. And that's how you combat these things, is when the price shoots down, you buy when it's low to drive it back up. And that's how Wall Street's Bets has been combating everything they've been doing. But we couldn't do that. So the price shot down a lot within an hour. This is the lowest it's been in a while. It shot down very quickly, and it looked like it was going to stay there. So those guys who had just bought those shorts probably resold them, and so they recoup some of their losses just by doing that. But obviously, this is what would be considered market manipulation, which is, unfair and illegal. And these guys are losing billions of dollars a day. So they decided that, hey, we'll sacrifice Robinhood, which is what they're doing. We'll sacrifice Robinhood. They'll take the fall for this, and we will not lose all of our money. But they're still going to lose all their money. So, because none of it's working.
Because Reddit doesn't forget. And it
Yeah,
doesn't forget.
in order for any of this to work, the people, us, the normal people that have all these shares, have to sell them. Mm-hmm. Or else it's going to rebound. And we're not selling because we see through this.
Right.
They think we're idiots. We're not.
Not total idiots.
Right.
30% idiot.
Yep. Tomorrow, 20 million shorts are supposed to be bought.
Well, tomorrow, the billionaire hedge fund dudes have to start selling.
Yeah, they have to cover their shorts.
Cover their shorts, yeah.
So they have to buy the stock in order to give back to whoever they borrowed it from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but I think you can even do a more TLDR version of the Robinhood thing. Them and other apps just straight up stopped letting the everyday people buy their buy
but the hedge
stocks
funds
today.
could still do whatever they wanted.
Right. So the billionaires had no regulations, no restrictions, but the everyday folk that are putting in, $500, $600, their stimulus money were restricted.
Correct.
And so that's why people are pissed, because there's all these people going on MSNBC and, all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tactics they have to scare people into selling.
Right.
Getting going on these news websites and literally lying about stuff.
Yeah. Like one of the things the new website said, or the news said, it was like, people aren't thinking about the taxes they're going to have to pay next year, and just things to kind of get people to sell or just chicken out. And I think if the Reddit community for Wall Street Bets wasn't so insane and strong, like, it would be a whole different story. But their Reddit was down for a bit, and they had like Wall Street Bets new pop up, and I think it had been in the works, but I watched it go, like, add 50,000 users in like minutes. It was crazy. And so right now, like, if you get on Wall Street Bets, there's like 1.5 million people active at any time, and then the subreddit itself has like 5 million users. And it's different than most subreddits I've been on, where like most subreddits have some like back and forth about what to do, what the right move is, but they've been so freakishly united, like in a cult-like mentality. It's like if there was like a cult, but for justice. That's what I feel like they are. Because like they're very cult, like hive mind, but it's for the greater good. Mm-hmm. The subreddit. I mean, they're just unbreakable. They really are. They're not very PC, but they're definitely unbreakable. What other important things do we need to know? What are the predictions of what's going to happen? Sir?
Sorry.
Oh.
I mean, nobody knows. Hopefully
why,
tomorrow.
Okay, explain why you're so unbothered and why you're just not really worried that it's going to go poorly.
So the thing is called a short squeeze or a gamma squeeze. Eventually, these guys have to cover their shorts. They're forced to buy stock. When you buy stock, it drives the price up, and these guys are going to have to buy millions and millions and millions of shares. So to drive the price up, that's what's called a squeeze. Eventually, it could get to very, very, very high levels, like above 1,000. And then because they're forced to buy, it guarantees a seller such as myself that when I sell my stock, I will have a buyer. Because sometimes when you sell a stock, if no one buys it, then you don't sell it. It just sits there. And if the price goes down, then you miss your chance. But because these guys are forced, because they're guaranteed to buy 140% of the stock that's out there, I am guaranteed to have a seller whenever I want to sell, kind of.
Word. Is there anything else you want to add, sir?
I'm supposed to buy this thing.
Buy what thing?
Damn, I almost bought it today. That's super
What are you
frustrating.
talking about?
This cryptocurrency.
You're going to buy it now?
I can't.
Why?
I need that computer.
This computer? Well, then I'll just take a break real quick. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. So, wait, you might as well tell them what you're going to buy, or is that illegal?
Dogecoin.
You're really going to buy it?
Yeah, it's up 500%.
My friend has some.
So if I had put $100 into it, we would have made $500.
Wow, that's insane. Okay, well, I will check Discord. We're going to take a quick break because my husband's going to go invest in Dogecoin, which I think is a joke, but also not a joke. It's just kind of how like GameStop was a joke, and now it's making people millions of dollars, so here we are. But thanks for tuning into this part. I'm going to go ahead and be right back.